Good afternoon. Welcome to Holborn Parish Council's PR&IT Committee, and I'd just like to welcome Safi Hussain as a new committee member.
Thank you very much.
So, agenda item 56, apologies for absence. None, as we're all here. Declarations of interest. To receive any declarations of interest in accordance with the requirements of the Localism Act 2011, and to consider any requests for dispensations in respects of pecuniary or non-pecuniary interests in agenda items. None for me.
None for me, no.
No. Item 58, minutes. To resolve to approve as correct the notes of the meeting of the committee held on the 24th of August 2022, and to authorise the chair to sign the official minutes.
Also.
All agreed? Yeah.
Sure.
That's it.
Thank you.
Agenda item 59, clerk's report. To receive a report from the clerk, please.
The calendars have been printed. There's one for you to have a look at, see what you think to them. And just to let you know that the winners have been contacting me when they're going to receive them and when they'll be getting their prizes. The Storms Drain Maps, I've received a copy of these and there was in the folder for you to have a look at when the supporting documents. And the defibrillator, I've contacted the supplier again, and the latest ETA is the end of December, beginning of January, but everybody seems to be in the same situation with that one.
Yeah, I had Paul Redgate, who obviously was responsible for giving us the funds for it, he keeps asking.
Yeah, I think it's the shipment, I don't think it's the
They
manufacturer,
come
it's
from
the
do
shipment.
they come from
America.
Yeah, so that's
Seems
what's
bizarre.
taking so long. So,
Yeah.
but I have chased that up a couple of times and they're still sticking with the same
Okay.
date.
Well, I'll tell her it'll be the end of December at the earliest. Okay. Item 60, calendar competition. To resolve to agree the prize given for the winners. So we need to decide a date, or maybe give them an option of 2 days. Do we ask the judges as well?
I think it'd be a bad thing to have the judges in,
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
it?
think it'd be nice. Yeah, because if we can get a photograph with them each
Yes.
holding their
Yeah.
photo,
Yeah.
then we can get a press release done with that as well,
Yeah.
and put it on Facebook. And then how are we doing the prizes? Because obviously it's cash prize, isn't it? Well,
Yeah,
money.
yeah. I've had a word with Jan over that. I don't know how
Yeah.
you do the
Whether we're doing a
financial
check or
side of it.
something. Yeah.
Will you be inviting, obviously, everybody who's got a photograph in the calendar, and then obviously we'll give the prizes out to the first, second and third? What are you doing? Just how are you going to do?
I would probably just, if you
I was
invite the first, second and third to receive their prize, have a photograph taken, and then maybe contact all of the other people who've got a photograph in there and say, would you like to come along and collect your calendar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen here, is it? In Chambers?
Yeah, I think we'll take the photographs as well,
Yeah.
won't we? We can send
They all get a free calendar then.
Well, is that, I don't know.
I don't know, I didn't know we'd agreed on that. That was all.
we haven't agreed on it, but we can. I
Yeah.
think it's reasonable.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So if then they all come and collect the calendar, but then those who are getting the first, second, third prizes
Yeah,
have an actual photograph taken with the judges,
With the
and
judges.
yeah.
then that can be put together.
So when do we think we could do that?
I think you're going to struggle on the weekday, aren't you? Because
I was going to say it's going to happen.
it was aimed at children originally, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know the ages of the people that have, whether they're retired.
I don't know, obviously we've not spoken to a couple.
I mean, if you can't get it that the judges are there at the same time, then we'll just have to let them come in at a convenient time and ask them if they're happy for having their photograph
Yeah.
taken.
So it would be nice to have a group photograph.
Yeah.
So we say a Saturday or a Sunday, or probably not Sunday for the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, probably the easiest thing, if you draft an email explaining what we're wanting to do, and if you BC in the 3 prize winners and also the judges, then they all receive the same email, and just ask them when would be convenient for them.
Yeah, give them a couple of dates and
Yeah.
Yeah.
the majority goes, doesn't it?
But probably try and go for either an evening
So
or
presumably as soon as possible. So do we want to pick a couple of Saturdays?
I'm not available
Oh, no,
for a few Saturdays,
Yeah.
but
I wouldn't say that you'd
So
have to be
you're
here,
away.
Karen, because we can just, once you work out with Jan how you're doing the cash
yes.
prizes, then a couple of us can just pop up and do that. That's no problem.
Yeah, Jan will be here, won't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we say Saturday the 12th?
Mhm.
No?
I'm not available. I'm not available 12th and 20th, I think it is.
You know you won't need to be here for the rest.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
if I
so
don't need
what's
to be
the-
here.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, that's fine.
If you just pick a couple of,
So just say Saturday the 12th and
and then
Okay.
the following one.
Saturday the 19th.
Yeah. Then it gets it out of the way.
Is there any time preferably?
I won't be back on the Saturday until lunchtime because I'm...
So do you just want to say the afternoon?
So just say 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. And we do have a checkbook.
We do.
Yeah, we
It's,
do. It's just which way Jan feels is best to
Yeah.
make the payments.
Okay.
She could pay me those 20p's from Berkeley.
So decided on £4. Is that correct?
I'm sorry.
£4 per calendar for sale. And then we'll ask each individual council to take a few.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to do it that individual councillors sell it, or do you want to just say that one day you ask whether you can go up to Tesco and have a do that? Because you've got the Christmas fair you can be selling from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you maybe arrange a couple of dates with Tesco, I'm just thinking, lovely idea of the councillors, but
Yeah.
half of them won't do it.
Can we just
and
put on
half of their
Facebook then
campers back.
that the calendars are printed and ready and they
Mhm.
are available from...
Yeah.
From here.
We can pop them,
Chambers.
if they're available from Queenborough Chambers, but then if we probably arrange a couple of
Yeah.
times from Tesco or Co-op or
Yeah.
wherever they're happy to.
What about who's provided the winners? I'll get out now. Oh, who's sponsored it? That's it.
Oh, the sponsors,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. What about the sponsors? What are you doing? Are we
I'm just
taking them there to sell or?
I think, yeah, go in and sell them one. Say, here's a calendar. You can have it cut price, £5.
So let's do
Are they
it.
going to?
Well, we've agreed
sell them
that we'll give
themselves?
each of the sponsors one.
Yeah.
So we'll
And
give
then
this one, yeah.
If I go and do that, then I can ask them whether they'd be
If they're
prepared to
willing to,
take a few
yeah.
Mhm.
to sell.
Yeah. No, because they want to buy.
Yes.
Yeah. Because then if we need to get any more printed, we can do.
Yeah.
At least if you've got a couple of places that you sell them.
Facebook.
Yeah, once we've got the photos,
Yes.
I'll put it all together on Facebook. We can do a press release,
Yeah.
say where we're selling it, if we can contact Tesco and see whether we can get a date arranged for that,
Yeah.
then that can all be put together in a press release.
We just need to table them for a day,
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to item 61, filming. The result to agree that that's a camera set up for filming.
I don't know whether you want to discuss this a bit further when we have our new council joining. He seems to be very keen on
He
that.
does,
It's a
yeah.
filmmaker, isn't it?
Yeah.
He is, yeah.
But at the moment, I use my camera
Yeah.
for filming. I'm just thinking that A, the council really needs its own camera, and if I'm never available, then you're not going to get it filmed. So
And the sound as well.
the sound quality is improving. I've been looking at various cameras. You've either got buying a cheaper camera and then a separate microphone that can plug into, a laptop or something. But then, if Jan and Karen are putting together and uploading to YouTube, they're going to have a separate audio and film that they need to put together, which I'm sure they could manage, but it is going to make it more complicated. Or you would have to look at getting a slightly better camera with an external mic jack in it, so you can put an external microphone on the camera to improve the audio.
So shall we defer that to the next meeting?
So probably
When is the new councillor joining?
on the next
Yeah,
full council
council.
meeting, so beginning of November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is It's not a pressing issue.
No.
Can we best get their opinion?
Okay.
So do we have to propose?
And I'll propose and defer it.
Yeah, I'll second
I'll
that.
second it.
Agreed.
Yep.
Item 62, press releases, to receive an update on the press releases. Well, you've done one for the Christmas.
So, I think my
Or
mum's
your
done
mum
one
did,
for
didn't she?
Christmas. I
Yeah.
think she's going to send a more detailed one through to the Voice because the Free Press were asking for one. We've done one for Remembrance.
Yeah, seen that.
And then obviously once calendar's sorted out, then we can do a calendar.
Yeah.
It's just whether there's anything else key coming up that we want to.
Not in this year, is it?
No.
I'd like to put something in the Village Voice again, so we don't have a blank page, but we've already done the Christmas
Mhm.
fair, so maybe we could just put something about the calendars,
Yeah.
because we advertised that before, just to say that they're printed and
Oh, yeah.
available, and they're readily available
Mhm.
from.
I mean, you're very soon going to be coming up with a press release to do with budgets, aren't you? Because you want to explain how we're doing that, but that's once they're agreed.
Yeah. You can put my contact email on there as well, because it's not circulated to Holbitch itself, it's the only Holbitch drone.
Yeah.
Holbitch St
Your
John's.
emails on the
Exactly.
website anyway.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put Janice, the clerk's email and mine on. Where I'm
That's
available from.
Anything else people could think of?
Can we put like an end of year press release of what the council's done for the whole year?
Good idea.
Something like that. So
Yeah.
it reminds
Do you want me to
everybody,
move the camera or can you get through?
just reminds everybody what you've done the whole year, like a car show.
Yeah.
I just think it's a good,
Good bit of PR, isn't it?
yeah, good PR.
Yeah. What have we done this year then? We've waited for the slide.
Yeah.
Whoever mentions that.
Yeah.
But you've got the inclusive swing, you've got the Jubilee Garden.
Yeah.
That's another thing, isn't it?
All the
About
events.
press releases, we were going to get this people that sponsored, was it a raffle? All inclusive?
Yes,
Swing?
at the
It's
first
last
car
time.
show, a business did a raffle
Yes.
for the inclusive swing, and my mum's spoken to them.
Okay.
They're aware of it, but we haven't yet arranged a date for them
Okay.
to come in and have a photo. So, but yeah, if we kind of put together all the things
Yes.
that it could be that you do that as kind of an end of year, and then also think about what you're planning to do next year,
Yeah.
and include that with your budgeting,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and do a bit of summary.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
You have to vote on that?
It's
Well,
also right to agree, so,
The village rules.
yeah. Agree. Thank you. HBC forums, to item 63, to resolve to agree the way forward with the open forums. Well, we've talked about this, haven't we?
I thought we were going to do it.
I mean, as
Start
it stands at
the
the moment, it's from 6:45 until 7:10.
Do you want
On
to
full
explain
council.
the technicalities, Jack?
Right, yeah, I'm just going to double check because I've asked a question of Lau.
You have asked them now.
And I have logged in to see if I have a response, so I will.
Because I think when we discussed it last time, we said about having an open forum preceding the
Yeah.
meeting. So it's more like an informal chat, it's not filmed, press are not necessarily there, and that works a lot better with interacting with the
It
public.
does.
Yeah.
But in our standing orders, and whether it's a legal requirement,
Just
we
the 10
do
minutes.
normally have the 10 minutes,
Yeah.
which is part of the meeting.
Is that just agenda items?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the public,
It should
in,
be.
in law, the public open forum is actually only for members of the public to raise questions on items that are on the agenda. So you can't have
Needs a
members,
poll.
you can't have members of the public asking a question about something that happened 10 years ago that isn't even connected with now. That is in law.
Yeah.
That's
But
how
that
it
would
is.
be what
Yeah.
our little chit chat beforehand. would
Yeah,
be.
later, so
So we could have 15 minutes of non-filmed questions about anything,
informal chit chat.
informal chit chat, and then the 10-minute
I think
But
that
then
Open
you've got
forum.
to,
About agenda items.
because you were gonna,
yeah, what's the
Contact
one
Lau.
what's Lau? So in the next meeting, we have to have an open forum up to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Now, you could decide that you only wanted an open forum for the next meeting of 1 minute and stick to items on the agenda only, because the public have had their opportunity to speak beforehand. However, as standing orders say, open forum up to 10 minutes. So if you can take that out, which I need to take further advice on, then you would have to change your standing orders at that meeting, but that would be after you've had that public open session.
I think personally, given that we've tried the open forum before the meeting, which is not filmed, and also the open forums at the meeting, I would say if we can legally not have an open forum in the actual meeting and just have one preceding the meeting that's longer without being filmed,
Yeah,
and we then amend standing orders accordingly, I think that would be the best option moving
Yeah.
forward, because it's a lot better way of interacting with the public, having a proper chat about things,
yeah, yeah.
rather than feeling like you're sort of asking questions in front of the camera and, you're being
So that's
interviewed.
asking questions about it, not just agenda items.
Yeah. So I think if Jan finds out
Yeah.
what we can do with Lau, if that's a goer, then that's what I'd recommend.
We could kick it off next year, couldn't we? Because there's only 2 more meetings, isn't there, this year?
Well, you can, well, no, because till April is the end of the,
Oh, it's end of the year, I think,
yeah.
yeah.
But I'd probably do it as soon as possible,
Yeah.
because they are causing
So regarding the
administrative
next full council meeting, we're just going for the
I
45
would-
minutes.
You can change your standing orders at the next meeting,
Yeah.
so the past 6 months.
So for the next meeting, we would have to have the 10-minute open forum, because that's what's in standing orders,
Mhm.
so up to. But we could do, so for the next meeting, we could have a 25-minute open forum preceding the meeting,
Yeah.
and then an up to 10-minute open forum in the meeting, but if
Okay.
nobody's got anything to say, then you just get past it. And then amend standing orders in that meeting, and obviously subject to the advice from LAUC, then we remove it completely and move forward on that basis.
Do you, Lou? Yeah, you propose
Praise.
Second.
it.
Agreed. And item 63B, to receive an update on Boston Road South situation.
Still there.
We've got the storm drainage maps.
I
That,
haven't looked through that because that's quite a detailed.
yeah, but it's not, so you've got the storm drainage maps, but then you haven't got, what we were talking about is like the drainage board, the water courses and things like that, because we believe obviously there's a drain that runs alongside the park and connects all together with the other drains. I think for our own benefit, given that we are experiencing sinking in that section of Carts Park, it'd be useful to contact the drainage board and try and get maps from that. In terms of Boston Road South, I think that's overlapping a bit into what we discussed in the full council meeting with the planning situation. I think the way forward to move that on is more to write to district and find out what their overall plan is for developing the infrastructure, and where all of the 106 payments have gone to, because I think that the public would like to know, you've got all of these developments going on, how
Yeah.
much money is in the various pots, where has it gone to and what's been spent.
Yeah. Because you might think 106 from Holbeach bills, the money should come to Holbeach.
Yeah,
You'd like to think.
you would like to think so, but yeah,
Probably not.
so I think that might be, it's crossover of planning, but that might be a good next step,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of progress it a
Definitely.
bit further.
Have we had the final figures in for the spend yet?
Yeah, we published that on Facebook.
Yeah, that wasn't,
Oh, Anglian Water
they haven't given the evidence, have they?
didn't do all the way back to, they gave us the final figure, which was, I think, 3,200,
325.
that's it, that's the one. 325,000.
Yeah.
And they said that was from beginning to now.
Yeah.
They gave us the breakdown for the most recent work, but they didn't give us a breakdown of all
Previous work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
previous work.
And
So,
I don't
yeah.
think that Lincoln LCC gave us, did they say that they were still waiting for invoices to come in from contractors? Or was that hanging all on?
The figures did look a bit light, I thought.
Well, they were about the same as they quoted me in that freedom of information.
I think the problem is what most businesses do when you're thinking about figures is you think about the labour costs as well. But obviously for Lincolnshire County Council and for us, if you've got a job to do, you're employing those people anyway. So I think their figures are based on material costs
Yeah.
only. You could see that when they got Angular Mortar to do the work, the price was a lot more than when their team were doing the work. So I think they're not including labour costs within that estimate.
Okay.
But I think you've gone as far as you can do with that. It's only if anything else happens with Boston Road, if it's
Yeah.
incident, then
It'd be good to get the public involved on any future infrastructure as well,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
I think that's the next step
Yeah.
in infrastructure.
Because that was quite key on the meeting.
That was it.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to item 64, to resolve to agree to recommend the draft budget to the Finance Committee.
You want me to do this now?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, phones and broadband, which we know landlines are going, aren't they? The current phone system we've got doesn't work well enough for what we want it for. So the proposal is to spend about £600 on a complete new system, which would be VoIP enabled, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so we do just need to get the finalised quotes really from BT to find out prices, but based on their pricing on their website, that would be, that's more than enough for what
Well, we're in-
is included.
We're in a fixed-term contract with BT anyway, so it makes sense to stay with them. Hopefully they'll give us a bit of a discount. Okay. IT equipment, we're saying £1,000 for next year.
I suppose it just depends on what you've actually got to spend.
Well, I'm
I
quite
think
keen to
we
get this
will-
laser printer.
The laser print, but that's
It's cheap
cheap.
anyway,
Yes, I know.
Is that coming out of this year's budget?
Yeah.
then? Yeah,
It's
so,
only good net, cost is only 30 quid, isn't it?
what else do we wanted to upgrade the RAM for Karen's laptop.
Yeah, we're going to must have feared with that.
All right.
And then, other than that,
It's just in
it's
case
just in
pot of
case,
money.
yeah.
And then email and software licenses, obviously, for Office 365
And the Realtos.
and Realtus, yeah,
And money soft.
and Moneysoft. You were going to contact Realtus, weren't you, to see if they had plans to bring in payroll.
And then we can combine the two if they're
Yeah.
going to do that.
And then CCTV, £3,500, that's going to be for the chapels. And when we looked at the quote, Severe suggested that the price we were given was
It's pretty good.
a pretty good price. It's whether we can get anybody to do it, that's the trouble.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough installers, is there? But, I mean, that's just a ballpark figure again,
Yeah.
3,500, but it shouldn't be more than that. Unless prices suddenly go through the roof. And then next year's calendar, we said £500.
Yeah.
Is that going to be enough?
Yes.
Because if these are successful, then we might want to award 300 next year.
Or
Yeah.
we'll change the format.
Yeah.
Going back to the CCTV, there are new cameras that are coming out that just run off solar power.
Okay.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, rather than having a fixed mains to them now.
Mm.
I don't know how good they are because they're relatively new,
Yeah.
but
Because you don't have to have full sunshine, do you, for solar panels?
no, they have like rechargeable batteries in there, so the solar power charges
Yeah.
their batteries and they keep going if there's no sun. And you can also put 4G SIM cards in them, so we can connect them to the phones as well.
Okay.
That might be an option rather
Yeah.
than running cables and drilling through to chapels and things like
Yeah,
that.
well, it's a listed building, isn't it?
So we could just put them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when we spoke to the conservation officer with the chapels, we would have to get a listed builder consent for,
To do that.
yeah, because you'd be placing the cameras on the outside.
Mm.
But there's obviously a lot more stuff that we would need consent for, so we can put it into one application.
I mean, truthfully, do we really need it, I suppose, is a question, because before the scaffolding, we weren't getting any damage to the chapels, were we?
I suppose it's just, it's whether they're going to be open, and if they're open and in use all the time,
Yeah.
we might get some damage.
Yeah,
We
true.
are looking for, when we do the windows, about putting a perspex or
Yeah,
something
I
over the
know.
top.
Yeah,
So that should solve that issue.
Do you want it looking at the chapels?
no.
Okay. So you
Well, we
don't
could
want-
do.
Don't
Yeah,
want
but
it
you-
away from the actual chapels.
If you were going to use the cameras with the
Yeah.
solar power, then you could have
You
them
could
away
put two
from.
posts in the cemetery and that would cover
Mm.
Mhm.
the long side and the short side, each post, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it's something to think about a bit further.
Yeah, yeah.
But if
Just
you've got the
more
money in the
like-
budget, then at least you can do it.
3,500 is plenty.
Yeah. But it might be something to have a look
Yeah.
into, once we decide what we're doing with the chapels and.
Yeah, perhaps we'll ask you to run with that next year if you don't mind.
Yeah.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that's where we are with budgets, and has Jan's got anything to say?
No, I don't think so. I was going to say regarding the Realtas taking on salary software is if it's cost effective, because the one thing with Money Soft is it's cheap,
Yeah.
and it's £75 a year,
Peanuts, isn't it?
which is, I know you've got to migrate the figures across, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
really doesn't take very long at all.
No. Not if you've got a huge number of staff that get paid.
So,
Come the revolution, that'll be the second thing to go after bank holidays.
salaries.
Yeah. And time holiday.
Bung a new code out on then.
That's it on budget, then.
So, good.
So stay with what you've got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9,100.
And nothing of that is, well, CCTV is a project, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's been decided to do two budgets, one with projects, one without
This is
projects.
when we set the preset for next year, we're going to do with and without project.
And work out, so I will take out from that 3,500
And calendar. Calendars and
And-
budget.
Yeah. But if you put, next column along, if you put a P on it, then we can
Oh yeah, so you put P next to the ones that are projects.
projects, and
And
then
then
we
we
can just
can
do a
compare the
pivot
two
table.
budgets, yeah.
That would be easy.
Mhm.
Anything else, Jen?
No, I'm happy with that.
So,
Somebody to propose that?
one for process.
Second? Agreed? So, item 65, to confirm the date and the venue of the next PR&IT committee meeting.
I find it very difficult to have daytime.
Yeah.
Because,
Meetings,
yeah, I can get called away any time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't like letting you guys down.
Oh,
So
we understand that.
I think the new councillor also is going to be working full time. I can't remember what time he will be finishing. Do you know?
I do have admin days.
Yeah.
So I had admin day yesterday, luckily today as well.
Yeah.
But I've had a call this morning saying I might have to go out this afternoon. So luckily didn't go out. But if I get enough advance, like warning, say for like 3 or 4 weeks, I could possibly match it with an admin day.
Yeah, you'll get 4 weeks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we'll
So
agree.
I don't want you to change your times just for me. So
No,
if
no.
you want to do a day meeting,
Yeah.
book it and I'll say yes or no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll have
And
to
I think
see.
if it's a meeting where you need to have input, then we'll obviously work around you.
Yeah, yeah, we will do.
Fine. That's
But
fine.
dependent on, because I know, I think you've got both of the new councillors who wanted to join are good at IT. So then they want to be joining and they do both work.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be evening meetings anyway. But we'll just, we'll have to
I
adjust
know,
it. It's
sorry.
fine.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I don't
Apologies.
mind. I don't mind. It just all rolls into one day anyway. doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Like yesterday.
Yeah. So if we set a date, but we
So
might
if
have
we-
to
yeah, looking
adjust
forward,
it.
if
The
we,
PPES is on the Wednesday the 30th at 3:30.
Okay.
I was thinking about the following week, starting the Monday the 5th.
You haven't, you really should have another one in before the next finance committee
Okay.
because of your budget. So you really
Yeah, 'cause
want to
this
go
month's been a
with
long month.
28th or 29th.
So the next finance, or December's finance is the 5th,
Yeah.
5th of December.
Yeah.
5th of December.
And then I really want to go with 28th or 29th.
Try and do the 28th, it's only because it's my granddaughter's birthday and we'll go before bedtime, but if
Well,
not,
that's
I'll say
That's all
on
next year
I'll
as
say on
well.
a Sunday.
My birthday next year.
I've got plenty of home.
That's a Monday as well. Yeah, that'd probably work for me as well.
29th.
29th, 28th.
No.
Yeah,
Can I?
depending on what time the 28th is, before bed, if I can get before bedtime.
Well, again, you don't have to be here.
Oh no, it's,
I know you like big coming to meetings, don't you?
no, that's not fair, you know.
Pencil in daytime 28th then,
Yeah.
and then if we need to adjust it
Yeah.
with new councillors joining, then we'll.
No, we'll have to, won't we?
So what time?
4 o'clock, latest. Well, no, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So then,
Three.
if it's done by 4, then Karen can get away on time.
So Monday the 28th at 3
Don't sit on the chair like that, Madam Clerk. Okay?
Good. So that's the meeting concluded at 12:31.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.